Lewis Hamilton didn't just question Ferrari's race strategy in Miami. He ripped it apart live on team radio, and what he said might be the most brutal takedown we've ever heard from him. It wasn't just a few angry words in the heat of the moment. It was a bold, calculated message that exposed cracks deep inside Ferrari's structure. You could hear the frustration in his voice, sharp, clear, and impossible to ignore. But here's the thing, this wasn't only about one bad race. This was about something bigger, something that's been building up behind the scenes. What happened in Miami has blown the lid off a growing problem at Ferrari, a team that's struggling to keep up, not just on the track, but in the decisions that shape the race itself. And Hamilton? He's had enough. Before we dive deeper into this bombshell, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around till the end. Because what happened after the race could completely change the direction of Hamilton's journey with Ferrari. You don't want to miss what's coming next. It all started during the Miami Grand Prix, when Hamilton, after starting the race on hard tyres, made a switch to mediums. The strategy seemed solid, until he found himself stuck right behind his teammate, Charles Leclerc, who was still running on hards. Hamilton quickly noticed he was faster and asked the team if he could pass. But instead of giving him the green light, Ferrari told him to stay behind and use Leclerc's DRS to gain speed. That's when the frustration boiled over. Over the radio, Hamilton snapped, "So you want me to sit here the whole race?" It wasn't just annoyance, it was disbelief. Ferrari hesitated, and by the time they finally allowed the drivers to swap positions, it was too late. Hamilton's tyres had already worn down from sitting in the dirty air behind Leclerc, and by then, the cars ahead, including Mercedes, had already pulled away, leaving Hamilton with a mountain to climb and a strategy that had completely fallen apart. And if you thought Hamilton's frustration ended on the track, think again. After the race, he didn't hold back. In interviews, he delivered a clear message. Ferrari needs to wake up. He called out the team for being too slow to make decisions, saying, "Make the decision. You've got all the data. We're in the car fighting." That wasn't just a complaint, it was a warning. On the radio, his sarcasm hit hard too. When told Carlos Sainz was catching up from behind, Hamilton fired back with a biting comment. "Have a tea break while you're at it." It was his way of showing just how fed up he was with the confusion coming from the pit wall. Things got even more intense after the race when Ferrari boss Fred Vasseur came over to Hamilton's garage. The conversation was tense. Hamilton later told reporters, "I just put my hand on his shoulder and said, 'Don't be so sensitive.'" That one line said it all. Hamilton wasn't angry just for the sake of it. He was trying to shake things up, to push for real change inside a team that right now doesn't seem ready to keep up. But here's the real issue. This wasn't just Lewis getting angry because things didn't go his way. It goes much deeper than that. This is about leadership, trust, and the kind of teamwork that wins races. Back in China, Hamilton had moved aside without complaint to let Leclerc through, showing respect and playing the team game. He did it without fuss, because that's what strong teammates do when the strategy calls for it. But in Miami, when it was time for that same respect to be returned, Ferrari froze. They didn't act fast enough, and by the time they finally made the call, the moment was already gone. Hamilton's tyres were worn, his chance to catch the cars ahead had slipped away, and all the momentum was lost. This isn't about whether the car was fast enough. It was about poor decisions from the pit wall and missed opportunities to work as a team. What should have been a solid result turned into a mess. And for a driver like Hamilton, who's used to racing with purpose and clarity, that kind of confusion is more than frustrating. It's damaging. Now, the big question is, where does this leave Ferrari? Is their strategic leadership completely broken? After what happened in Miami, it's hard to ignore the cracks that have started to appear. Ferrari needs to ask itself, can they rebuild the trust that Hamilton has lost in them? Because if they can't, things might spiral out of control. We all know Hamilton's a fighter, and he's not one to hold back when things aren't right. If Ferrari can't make quicker, smarter decisions, this partnership could turn into a real problem. And with the season still ahead of them, the tension between Hamilton and the team could hurt Ferrari's long-term goals. This isn't just about one race, it's about the whole season. If they don't sort this out, their chances of competing at the highest level could slip away. So, what do you think? Was Hamilton right to speak out like this, or do you think Ferrari made the right call under pressure? Could this be the start of a rift that could define his entire time at Ferrari? It's clear that something needs to change, but the question is, will Ferrari learn from this, or will the mistakes keep stacking up? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take on it. And if you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any updates. Because if this Miami GP was any indication, the next few races could be even more dramatic.